Hello from Seoul? Let me guess, you always order some Mongolian beef for takeout and spend a lot of money for that. But what if it's so easy to make and it's way cheaper than you think? What do you say? The taste? Don't worry about it. You may taste the best Mongolian beef that you ever had. Alright, let's get started. Let's start with the vegetables. You will need green onion, garlic, and ginger. That's it. Since it doesn't need many ingredients, you already like it, right? First, chop some green onion into strips. Normally, most restaurants use this green part only, but I'm gonna use the whole part to make it more flavorful. For information, this less green part takes more time to cook, so it's better to separate them when you prep it. And then chop some green onion into smaller pieces to make green onion oil. Of course, less green part. Next, garlic. Smash 5 cloves of garlic with your knife and finely mince them. It doesn't matter if you use a grater or just chop them into small pieces without smashing it, but I prefer this way because you can feel more amazing fragrance with this little technique. Trust me, you will be surprised. This time, finely mince 10 grams of ginger. You don't like ginger? Then you can skip it, but you will miss the chance to experience the real Mongolian beef. You wanna get that restaurant taste but still don't like ginger? Then bring your grater and grate it as fine as you can. Or a little bit of ginger squeeze or powder can be a good option too. Then they're not gonna bother you and just give you the amazing fragrance. Alright, we're done with the vegetables. Now let's make the sauce. Put 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of water, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of corn syrup. This will not only add a sweet flavor, but also give the shiny look to your dish. But if you don't have it, just go for sugar. No problem at all. Next, add 1 tablespoon of mirin. If you don't have this either, bring any kind of cooking wine and use it. It's not gonna be a problem. Don't worry about it. Add 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, a half teaspoon of dark soy sauce for that iconic Mongolian beef color, a few shakes of black pepper, and give it a good mix until the sugar is completely dissolved. Some of you might say it's too complicated. Then just go for 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, and 3 tablespoons of sugar. That should be alright, but it doesn't mean that it's better than this sauce. So just put a little more effort. Then you will find yourself writing a comment like thank you, you're welcome. Now let's talk about the meat. For this, you can use any cuts of beef. It means if you wanna save some money, you can choose a cheap cut and cut it into thin strips. You don't buy it? Trust me, I got a plan. If slicing the beef is a bit annoying, then just go to a Korean grocery near your place and get some bulgogi cut. To be honest, that's the best. Put 500 grams of beef in a mixing bowl. If your meat is super thin like mine, you don't even need a knife, so just tear it with your hands. So easy, right? Sprinkle a generous amount of black pepper depending on your taste, and put 8 tablespoons of cornstarch and toss them around. Make sure that every piece of beef is nicely coated. I know it's a bit time consuming, but trust me, it's worth it. At this point, some of you might wanna ask, Aaron, you didn't put any salt. What's going on? I'm glad you brought that up. The cornstarch on the outside tends to absorb a lot of sauce, so if you add some salt here, you might feel like it's a little salty at the end. That's why I didn't put any salt. But if your knife skill is not so good, so there's thick sliced beef on your cutting board, then sprinkle some salt. It happens. Don't worry about it. Finally, let's get to cooking. Put a good amount of oil into a wok and place it over medium heat. We're gonna cook the beef in this oil, but it doesn't have to be cooked at high temperature. You just need to wait until it reaches 120 degrees Celsius or 250 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't have a thermometer? Then take off a piece of batter and put it into the oil. If it floats in 3 seconds, you're good to go. I can't say this technique that I'm showing you right now is the same as normal deep frying because it's more like blanching the meat in the oil. I know it sounds weird, but if you pre-cooked your meat this way, it seals in all the moisture and juices, which means you can enjoy the most tender and juicy beef at the end. That's why I said you don't have to use expensive cuts for Mongolian beef. I even care about your financial situation. Again, you're welcome. Also, if you don't want to use lots of oil, you can add a little less than this. I'm using a little more than usual to show you how it works, but as long as they are smart, that should be alright. Once the meat is cooked through, through, take it out, and drain the oil. For information, since cornstarch is everywhere in the oil, do not reuse this oil. In another wok, put 2 tablespoons of oil and add the chopped green onions, garlic, and ginger. If the oil temperature is too high, they will burn too quickly, so it's better to keep it on low heat. Your oil got already too hot? Don't worry about it. Just add some more oil and lower the oil temperature. No worries. Once you smell the amazing aroma, add the white part of green onion and stir it for about 30 seconds. Wanna make it spicy? Then you can add some chilies here. Or if you wanna make it extra special, then add some bell peppers or button mushrooms. That's gonna be much fancier. Now let's add the sauce and give some time to caramelize for about 2 to 3 minutes. Some of you might ask, Aaron, can I just stir fry the meat first and then pour the sauce? That's much simpler. Unfortunately, my answer is no. If you do that, the cooking time needs to be longer than this way, and eventually your beef will lose its moisture and juice at the end. Then all the stuff that we've done so far will go for nothing. Remember, the most important thing is you need to stir fry the beef as quickly as you can to trap in all the juice and the moisture. When the sauce gets thicker, change the heat to high heat and add in the beef. Toss it around and coat this beef as fast as you can. Once it's done, turn off the heat and add the green onions. And lastly, drizzle a half tablespoon of sesame oil and give it a quick stir. In this step, please be gentle, not to break our precious green onions. You know what? If you put them with beef, they will get mushy, so it won't look pretty at the end. Which means you can post this on Instagram to show off. So make sure to wrap things up when they look fresh. Alright, it's done. How was it? It's super easy, right? You wanna know what's even better? It costs less than half of a restaurant's, but quantity is double. The taste? Let's go to our taste tester.
Claire.
Ooh. Does anybody know why this is called Mongolian beef? I have no idea, but it looks and smells incredible. Let me try it. Look at how glossy this is. 우와. 와, 윤기 나는 거 봐. 장난 아니다. Oh my gosh. Ready? 되게 맛있다. 약간 색깔이 되게 진해가지고 뭔가 엄청 짤 것 같았거든? 근데 그렇지 않고 달콤하고 맛있는데? 전혀 튀겼다라고 생각이 되지 않을 정도로 되게 가벼워. 맛있어. 그리고 중간중간에 마늘이랑 생강의 그 달큰한 맛이 이 돼지고기랑 진짜 잘 어울리는 것 같아.
소금.
아, 미안. 맞다. 미안해. I'm sorry. 아무튼 되게 잘 어울리네. 맛있네. 근데 원래 이렇게 파를 많이 위에다 놓는 거야? 아니면 자기가 파가 좋아서 그래 이렇게 잔뜩 넣은 거야?
원래 많이 넣는 거.
그래? 확실해? This time with rice. It calls for rice. No, it's meant to be with rice. Wow, it's a huge bite. 맛있다. It's so flavorful and savory, so I think I can finish 2 bowls of rice. No? 3?
Today, I showed you a super simple but restaurant quality Mongolian beef. As you can see, it's a very simple dish with a few ingredients, and it's even budget friendly. Can you find any reason not to try this? Can you? Just run into your kitchen. Something magical will happen to you. Alright, this is it for today, and I'll see you next time.